Welcome back to episode 102 of the Disorganized Wizard Club podcast. My name is Alex. I'm here as always with Adam.
Hello.
And Cam.
Hey.
And we're a group of Ottawa-based players that play just about anything and everything we can qualify for. We talk about decks, tournament stories, just about anything to help you and ourselves get better at Magic.
Hopefully.
That's
the dream.
That is the dream.
Hey, I felt pretty good at Magic this weekend, even though I was casualing it up.
It was I had a great weekend at GP Montreal. It was a good time.
Yeah, it was nice. Hung out with some followers of the podcast, saw some old friends. We had a sweet Airbnb for the DWC.
Dude, it came with candy. It was lit.
Cam was hype.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
It was great.
The lady just put a gigantic bowl of
Halloween
chocolate
candy,
bar.
yeah.
Of Halloween candy. It was insane.
And what are those things called? Like marshmallow chocolate wagon wheels?
Yeah, they weren't
Chocolate-colored
wagon wheels, though.
marshmallow.
They're kind of like
Snack cakes of
like
some sort.
Joe Louis type things,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. A whole box of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a good time.
Feast the night we done.
Yeah, it was fun. You guys played side events. I played the main event. Did make day two.
Yeah, unlucky. I started unlucky, but yeah, I didn't play because I had 0 buys from taking basically the year off and finishing my PhD, right? Like I just hadn't played a lot of events due to my car dying, breaking up with my girlfriend and having to pay more rent, like
Is that a rough patch?
just so, and then I was finishing my PhD and then I was jobless. It was just,
Just finished my PhD. Didn't have a job.
just an unemployed
Too broke to
professor.
to play.
What, you
my
want me to
Magic
hang
cards.
out? I'm broke. Can't do that.
Yeah, so I didn't have any buys either because I think I only played in one GP last
But
year.
you're not a coward like me, so you played.
Yeah, but not like in high level events, so I didn't have enough.
No,
points
but I
to-
meant
You played
You
the
played
main
the main
event.
event.
I played the main event like an idiot. And
it's so hard without buys. It's such a shitty system.
man, so it was the second GP ever where I had to play in round one. Obviously, I lost, like I did in the other time I had to play in round one.
Yeah, but didn't the other time you like top 32 or top 64 or something?
No, I didn't make day two the other
Oh.
time. I only lasted 4 rounds the last time, though. This time I made it all the way to the final round of day one before losing to not make it. But yeah, it started really bad. Then after I lost round one, I went 5-0, 10-0 in games, did not drop a single game, crushed everyone, then lost both my win innings to day two.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah,
Yeah.
my sealed day 2 in cash record's pretty good. I only didn't cash 2 of 7 of my limited GPs.
That's pretty good conversion.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I always do really well in sealed.
Unfortunately, I didn't. My wheels fell off right at the end.
Yeah, I love sealed. It's always
It was fun. I had a really good time.
It was a small event. A lot of people didn't show up that I thought would show up.
There was only
Like 1,000 people.
about 1,000, yeah.
Which is small.
Yeah.
Normally Montreal, because they had half the venue closed off.
hmm
Normally it's the full open. Remember, it's the full
Yeah.
open room.
It was not a big event at
That's
all.
because people like Cam and I were just setting up box farming operations on the sidelines.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I'll briefly touch on my deck. I played Boros. I splashed blue. Deck was totally fine. Response Resurgence is a really good card, but best card in my deck by far was Inescapable Blaze. Literally killed an opponent with it every single round of the day. Card was nuts. Goes face. Face is the place.
you just face with it.
Yeah, it was so good. Card is so nuts.
If it goes anywhere else, you misplayed.
Yeah, I never cast it on anything else other than my opponent's face to kill them.
Yeah, that's
Card
correct.
was really good.
I had a copy of it in a draft deck that I wasn't playing main because I thought it might be a bit slow for draft because it was my second draft. I wasn't familiar with the format. And then you yelled at me about it, but you think you'd play it and then draft or sealed? Well, sealed you would, but draft as well?
Yeah. Card's great. 6 mana, deal 6, can't be countered. Tell me that's not card.
It did kill one of my opponents, but I attacked him
It killed your opponent.
thinking he might block wrong.
You're telling me it killed your opponent
then
and
he
you're
did,
unsure if it was good?
Hashtag score. But I mean, anything can kill your opponent.
I'm
Well-
explaining that it killed him because he blocked wrong, and I only attacked because I thought he might. So he put himself to 6, and I was like, well,
Well,
this
What?
card has a 6 on it.
what if that card was anything else and may not have won that game?
He could have just blocked correctly, and I'd do it.
I mean, well, thinking your opponent's going to do the correct thing in 2018. Come on, man. But yeah, I had a great time. You guys played a bunch of standard, right?
I played mostly standard. Yeah, I only did 2 drafts, but I played 3 standard events.
How'd that go?
I lost in the second round of my first draft, and that was my only loss all weekend.
Right on.
I smashed that draft back to the Stone Age.
Yeah.
I crumpled that pod. My draft deck was incredible. I annihilated one of my opponents in the first round. Were you sitting there for that?
Yeah,
where I went 1, 2, 3, 4 on him?
Yeah, I saw.
On the draw, and it still didn't matter. It just my deck was. Because I knew, it's kind of unfair. I was actually kind of upset about this because we all just signed up for a draft when we got there, and then it was like half Ottawa people, and I was kind of pissed. Like, I want to play against some people I don't know, you know? And then I get paired where it's like Cam, Curtis, and I'm in between Cam and Evan Barry. And I'm like, these two are just allergic to taking Boros, I guarantee it. Like, I just knew, because Cam's to my left, I knew I could just put him out of it.
Yeah.
But Evan, like, only just drafts like goofy control decks, right? So I'm like, okay, I'll just like, see what happens. Then I open Boros card, and then and then I just take like 2 or 3 fresh-faced recruits. And then he passes me like Surefire Captain, Deafening Clarion, which is still good even if you're aggro. And then pack 2 I open Aurelia.
Lock it in.
Yeah. And then he passes me like the Guild Mage.
Yeah.
Like a couple times. Like it's just. So yeah, my deck's just absurd, and I just walk through that draft, get a 40 packs or whatever it is, or 20 packs or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know, whatever it was. It was nuts. And then I played some standard. I didn't play a ton. I played the Gruesome Menagerie deck.
Did you like it?
Yeah, it's super fun. It can do some like insane things, which you saw.
Yeah, I've been playing that deck a lot online.
Yeah, I think it's okay. I'll get into the green-black decks later. It's super fun. It's a cool deck. A couple of gruesome boys.
Yeah,
super enjoyable. Not convinced it's good.
I'm not either.
But it's hella fun.
But it is fun.
You can't take that away from it. And it can definitely win games.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's probably a solid tier 3 deck. Like, it can definitely win some games.
Yeah, I can.
I was playing it with Stitcher Supplier, which I don't know if I've made this claim on the podcast, but I definitely made it to you leading up to when we talked about spoilers, where I kept saying, maybe off air, that I think I sent a message saying, Stitcher Supplier is not a standard playable card, fight me.
Yeah.
And because I was disagreeing with a lot of people about it, and I said on the drive back, I said it should have been Pelt Collector.
Yeah, so the only versions I've been playing of the deck are with Pelt Collector and no suppliers, and it's just so much better. There's literally no point ever. I'm like, man, I wish I had Stitcher Supplier in my deck. That would have been great. No, never.
It was so bad every time for me, basically. It was just always trash. I don't care if it enables Gruesome Menagerie. It was so bad. Card's just not playable.
That card just gets enabled.
I've been saying this for a long
game
time.
Plan,
it's just not a playable standard
I
card.
feel like it's one of those cards that people automatically put 4 of in their deck because I need it to enable. Like, they just assume they need it to enable. And because that's the role it plays in their deck in their mind, they don't, like, they ignore the fact that it's a 1/1 that doesn't do anything otherwise. And so they don't even think of cutting it.
Yeah.
It's like those like staples. Like, you hear people like, I'm going to build a control deck. And so it's going to be like 4 Sinister Sabotage, 4 Teferi Forward. Like, it's just one of those, like, I'm going to build a green-black graveyard deck. It's 4 Glow Spore, 4 Stitcher Supplier. Like, it's one of those things that people have stopped thinking about before they even started thinking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm not convinced. But the deck was fun. And then I played Hemsley's, like, Red White Angels list that he had, like, on the original deck dump for 5-0. And I just walked through that event. I even played like a donkey on the last round or the second last round. Didn't matter. I just forgot what Lyra did. I forgot she gave other angels lifelink as well.
Yeah.
I thought she just gave them +1/+1. I just forgot. It wasn't that I played. Like, according to what I thought the cards did, I actually played really well.
Well, you want
That's
me
a great
to
reason.
read the cards I play? Come on, man.
Yeah, reading's impossible. I just forgot. I was like, and then I could have just played an Aurelia and smashed them for and gained 1 billion life and just murdered them with a Resplendent Angel, like making tokens. I just forgot that she also gave lifelink. I thought she's had it and then pumped angels.
Mm-hmm.
That card's so obnoxious. And I just walked through that event. Because Knight of Grace is also just obnoxious. Vanguard's obnoxious.
Yeah, it plays a lot of good cards.
Just like, I mean, remember later at the year, maybe I was like, oh, why is that deck so good? And you guys were like, it's just mythics. Like, it's all it is.
It's just a bunch of mythics, man.
It's just busted mythics. The control matchup seems like it'd be bad, but hey, if you stick something.
Yeah.
Or a Danto's Vanguard can get you there. There's not a ton of seal-aways in the world right now.
Yeah,
so.
a Vanguard, History of Benalia. That's it. Seal away even bad versus your History of Benalia and your Aurelias. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. Cam, you played a bunch of tokens, right?
That's all I played.
Yeah, that's why I said you played a bunch of tokens.
Yeah.
Tell me, did you lose a single match all weekend?
With tokens, no.
Wow. Shocking.
Yeah. So I started with the list we put in our deck dump, the green-white Convoke tokens list with Tender Shoot Dryads. Played it in an event, didn't lose, decided to keep playing it because I hadn't lost, but eventually, somewhere in my streak of wins, decided that I would win faster or more if I switched out the Tender Shoots for Thorn Lieutenants. So I did that. Deck became a lot better. Kept winning. Played against a lot of control decks, which all of them had 2 or more sweepers, sort of like in their toolkit.
Mm-hmm.
Played against a lot of Deafening Clarion into Cleansing Nova. Played against a lot of like Ritual of Soot into Cleansing Nova. Played against a lot of Settle the Wreckage, which you'd think would be hard for tokens to beat. And the games they had like 3 or 4. I didn't win, but it was only usually 1 per match. And otherwise, you just like don't dump your hand onto the board and like attack around Settle, and like it was pretty easy. The deck was surprisingly resilient. You have things like Karn and Dawn of Hope out of the sideboard to sort of keep rebuilding when you get wrathed, and like Legion's Landing main lets you do that. Yeah. You have enough guys, and like your Song of Freyalise turns, like make it so that you don't have to throw your whole board into Settle.
Yeah, I think that's important for it. On a lot of lists, the 2 at the team event, I mean, it's a team again. I hate that these keep happening on week 1s. This is the 4th time in a row of new format. It's a team event. We can't tell which standard decks actually did great because they don't release those records. But a lot of the deck lists are not playing Song, and I think it's fine. I think it's probably one of those cases where the last card choice is not a huge deal. I don't think it matters that much, but I don't understand because I've heard a few people just sort of say like Song's nonsense, and it's like, well,
like I don't.
Cam's thoughts on it were actually the exact opposite, going undefeated across a weekend of events with it, where he just smashed with it.
Like I definitely don't see Song as like the last choice. Like, oh, this is something good I could also be doing. Song was like, if you prioritize Song, casting it early, even if you have to like quote unquote skip a turn to like cast the Song, you then get another turn to like set up, use mana to do whatever. And then like the 3rd chapter is why you're playing it. I think a lot of people discount it because like all your cards have Convoke, so you don't need the mana, etc. But like the mana is good incidentally. Like I would have turns where I otherwise wouldn't have been able to do some stuff and activate Adonto the First Fort, or just tapping Amara for no reason to make a token, or casting like an extra History Banale in a turn I wouldn't be able to. Like the mana was fine, but it's that 3rd turn which is like absolutely nuts. Like in any creature matchup, they can't beat that 3rd turn. You just get to let them hit you to like 1 or 2. And then you have this like board of lifelinking indestructible creatures that you just get to attack back. Like I was low against like my opponent had a Shalai and 2 Doom Eaters and like Doom Whisperers and like something else. And I was at like 2 because I just got hit by a Doom Whisperer, and the 3rd chapter went off and I attacked and I went up to like 25, and they had to block to go to like 3, and the next turn they just died regardless of my attacks. Like the 3rd chapter is so unbeatable in creature mirrors and in token mirrors.
Yeah, the token mirror just seems absurd.
Like you board them out against control because they're going to wrath you and it'll be less effective. But if you have anything sitting around, like that's nuts. Like people were talking about Song of Freyalise to me, and they're like, it's just a slow overrun. But that's good. Like a slow overrun with indestructible and vigilant. Like that's nuts.
Yeah. And the ramp can matter. I think the real reason is that it's nuts with Amara as well.
Right. And
like Amara's not always just online. Like
right.
People act like Amara without Song is just always available. It's like, no, it's not even close.
I've been seeing a bunch of other just like green-white, tokeny, mid-rangey Knights like decks playing 3 to 4 Amara with not that many Convoke cards.
Like
and no way to tap her anyway.
Like
and
6
so
or
like
7.
Are they just attacking with her and she trades and they're getting a token? They think that's good.
Right.
They think that's her ceiling. Like,
yeah. That's the average case, probably, like that you don't get to use it if you're not playing Song.
I mean,
the average case if you're playing Song is she just goes berserk.
My average case was every game I had Amara, she made 3 to 4 tokens.
Right. But yeah, it just depends how you want to construct it. Like we're playing Llanowar Elves and 2 less lands, which I think is optional probably as well, but I think it's been really good.
Yeah, the Elves were fine. Like they let you
turn 2 history, which
history comes sooner. They let you
that's huge.
Yeah, that's the biggest one
on the play. Is sometimes you get to turn 2 history people, and that's
pretty good.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
They also let you like play a 1-drop and a Thorn Lieutenant, or like something like that.
Flip Legion's Landing soon.
Yeah.
Like
that's another reason I added Thorn Lieutenants instead of Tender Shoots is because I had like by playing Song or playing Elves early, I had like an extra mana here or there on turns 2 or 3, and I wanted another 2-drop to cast with it. So
yeah, and also Tender Shoot, just still good in the mirrors. Like
yeah,
but
you can
we just
sideboard
moved to
some
the
copies
because it's unbeatable in the mirror. Basically, it's insane, right? They can't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
If that a thing, what was it we were talking about? If that thing ever gets concocted.
Oh yeah, that's a
It's
beating.
stolen.
You can't win. You
just
can't beat your own Tender Shoots.
You can't beat your own Tender Shoots, dude. You just lose on the spot. They like connive. You're like, huh?
Yeah, dude, I boarded them out because when like my opponent main deck played a Thief of Sanity and started like hitting me, I was like, I can't have Tender Shoot in this deck.
It's like if they take it, you actually just can't do anything. It's not like you're playing removal. I mean, you do, but like a Conclave, right?
Yeah.
That's it. So like you better hope, you know what I mean, that they don't take it. And now
so
it's like
funny.
the worst case. We're like, nah, get this card out of here. Just take Thorn Lieutenant. You know, worst case we just get 1/1. Thorn Lieutenant was really good. There are people I've seen lists that cut Legion's Landing, which just seems like I can't even. It's like Thanos snaps a finger and the deck list just melts away when I look at those lists because I'm incapable of seeing the reality they live in. Like,
Yeah.
it's gone.
I mean, I think
Like, it's just gone. Like, can you imagine not playing 4 of that card? To me, it seems it's like the best card in the deck. I was about to tee off.
Yeah.
It's like on language. I was about to just ram.
No,
that.
come on.
it's
just
really
go.
good.
Let's go. I'm recording.
No.
But yeah, I don't know. It seems like a lot of the ways other tokens lists have been constructed is that they are. It's like they find these do nothing setup turns unacceptable. And so they don't like the terms where you like cast a song and it doesn't do anything, and then you tap your guys and you cast something else, or like they don't like just like throwing away 3 creatures to flip something. I don't know what it is, but it's like they just want their cards to be good the turn after, and they don't want to like wait for a song payoff or a big march or like.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, even if you're not playing Song, I just don't understand not playing 4 Legion's Landing.
Yeah, me neither.
I just actually don't understand. The
It's
card
just
is
like the classic millennial. Just wants everything to work immediately. Don't want to have to work for anything. No setup required.
your average tokens player just.
Come on, man. That's
But, like,
brutal.
It does so much in so many matchups. It's so strong.
I mean, never mind.
Flipping it is
It's
just
a legendary. That's why you can't play 4. Yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
It's also ramp. Like we
we-
were playing 20 lands, and you flip it, and then it's an extra land. Like I was casting
Yeah.
Flourish 6 drops easily in a 20 land deck.
Yeah, we also had Song, but Song and Llanowar, which a lot of those
Song and
lists
Llanowar,
are
right,
playing,
but, like-
it's like I honestly
So
don't think.
you're
I think
playing
the general.
playing a 30 land deck. Come on, man.
I think the general sort of strategy of tokens is the same regardless of our minor card differences. I think they're pretty close, and I don't think it's a big deal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just don't think it's a big deal. Like I think it's.
I think the biggest difference is you guys don't play Saproling Migration.
Yeah, I don't play Saproling
And that's
Migration. I
kinda-
realize that it's very good with Loxodon. You know,
Yeah.
because you can basically always turn 3 your Loxodon and have 2 2/2s and a 4/4, which is like pretty strong.
Yeah.
But it's not an unbeatable start.
No.
And
I just wonder if it's better than Thorn Lieutenant.
I don't think so.
I mean, you know how I was casting Loxodon? I would tap Amara for mana. That would make a 1/1. Then I'd spend that mana in 2 lands
Because-
and 2 1/1s I had.
Because Thorn Lieutenant's better against that, right? Like it already wins the mirror.
Can you do that?
Yeah, just float mana with Amara off a song.
Oh, with Song. Okay, yeah. If you
Yeah,
get Song,
yeah. You can already do it with Song, but
Yeah.
Thorn Lieutenant beats Migration. Right? Beats it in the mirror. Like it's better in the mirror.
Mhm.
Because they do that curve. You take 4 a couple times till you find an answer to the elephant, which you can easily find, and the Thorn Lieutenant blocks 2/2s.
Yeah.
Right? It's better against control. It's better in mid-range mirrors. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just better. Thorn Lieutenant is definitely better than Migration. Lists that play both Thorn Lieutenant and Migration, maybe they're better. I don't know. Card that we didn't play that turned out I thought was quite strong was Tristani Discordant, and I would try and find a way to make space for 2 copies in a list. 1 or 2 for, probably 2, because it's just a good single threat on its own. That's also an Anthem. Like, it creates 5 power.
I feel like depending on what you're playing against, it could very easily take the Shalai slot.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have cut Shalai for anything because I played against so many Settle the Wreckage last weekend.
How many Shalais are in the list?
I had 1 main, and I added 1 side after I realized like how many people were trying to settle me, and I was boarding it all the time, and it was great.
Okay.
I had my opponent. I told you guys this, but they paid 6 mana to kill a Llanowar elf because they were.
Hey, how is this not the blowout?
It wasn't blowout. It Everyone played how they had to not die, and then my opponent still died.
It's a blowout on his mana.
Right. So he had the turn prior, I had attacked him down to 2 or 1 or something.
It was 1.
It was 1. And I had a Llanowar Elf with a counter on it, so a 2/2. And I play a Shalai, and then I'm like, combat, attack you with just this elf.
He's got a bunch of other stuff too.
Yeah. My opponent like sighs and like, activate detection tower targeting you, settle the wreckage you.
Nice.
And then just died anyway afterwards, right? Because he asked the really
pay 6 mana to settle.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, pretty funny.
Man.
But yeah, it's funny because I kept hearing people as well say, oh, the matchup's bad against control, bad against sweepers, but you played control almost over half the rounds and you smashed. So I don't know. I think maybe people should just get some tips on how to play it from you.
Yeah, maybe.
You boarded in. What did you board in against control? Shalai, an extra copy of Shalai from the board.
Shalai, Karn.
2 Karn?
2 Karn, a Sorcerer Spyglass, sometimes a treasure map. If they were like enchantment removal and search for his contest, I'd bring in Knight of Autumns.
Yeah, so you were telling me that you got a few people's searches and stuff.
Yeah.
In some pretty good moments.
Yeah. And I was taking out the 4 Song of Freyalise because they lose a lot of power when you don't have creatures because you're getting wrathed. And 1 to 2 marches, depending on just, I don't know, how many cards I needed room for, because that also, like, if you're only marching with your lands, you're getting like 2 or 3 guys, which is fine, and you still want some in your deck, but like, if you're getting wrathed, it's not as powerful as it could be.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Story checks out.
So,
right on.
I didn't even really board with the Red White Angels deck when I played it. Shuffled up for games 2 and 3.
All your mythics are already in your deck.
No, I'm not even kidding. I played against Green Black in the first round. Actually against listener Nathan, and I just didn't board because I was like, I don't like, I'm just playing Knight of Grace. I'm just gonna attack him with these 2 drops and then hope it's good enough. And then it was, and I was like, how did they beat Knight of Grace? Like, and you just lost to it. It felt shit. It's not a good way to win, where your opponent just plays.
You know how I beat
like Glowspore Shaman and these like do nothings, and you just smash them with Knight of Grace.
The only way is Wild Growth Walker. Only way.
Yeah, you need Wild Growth Walker. Yeah. I think that's why that card has already seen such a big sort of, I don't want to say resurgence, not like it was really popular before.
Yeah.
But it was a known thing at the end of last season.
Man, that card's so good.
It's very good.
Man, it's been real good for me.
The problem I have is like, it's just a 2 mana 1/3 because you're drawn in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You just it's fail state's pretty rough, but like it's pretty easy that it's just a 2 mana 3/5 that gains 6.
Yeah.
When you play a Jade Light, and that's comically good.
Let me tell you.
Just gain 3
I know.
trigger or 2?
3.
Cool.
Yeah. I mean, I played this card. I played the deck and that card a lot at the end of last season before rotation. Probably, remember, I was playing it all the time on Arena. I was playing it all but I mean, again, it had Scarab Gods then, and that was way better because if you're low on life, you're like, okay, I'll bring back my Wild Growth Walkers and a Jade Light, gain 6, and you know what I mean. With Scarab Gods, way better, but with the Gruesome Menagerie, you can crack open a couple of boys with the cold ones, as it were.
I had some pretty nuts turns where I had like a Walker, and then I would Menagerie back a Pelt Collector, a Branch Walker, and a Jade Light Ranger, and just pop off.
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
Were you sure to ask your opponent if they had any allergies before you did that?
What?
Because that turn's gonna be nuts.
Oh my god. Ugh.
Okay.
Yeah, that was bad. Can we edit that out? I expect more from you. Like less, but like I expect them to be bad.
I don't know what you want, man. I've been marking undergrad assignments all day.
Oh yeah, that explains it.
Rough.
Got the brain drain.
Yeah.
Dude, your comments about you're wanting to just go off on your students today was killing me at work.
Oh, yeah, that was good. I don't know if I want to get into that. But yeah, it's what marking early year papers can do to you because it's because I go in with unrealistic expectations, right? I'm going in with what if I wrote this, right? And then it's like, well, I have a PhD in the subject.
You made the mistake of thinking your first year students could understand grade 9 grammar.
Well, yeah, that is a problem. I think that's actually maybe every single university undergrad is essentially incapable. Can you imagine? Hit him with the Ralph Wiggum. You just say it right away. They're all incapable of understanding, just basics. Because it's also just because if you were to take a bunch of children and you put them on a baseball field and they're playing baseball together, they all sort of implicitly understand the rules. There's actually been studies done on this, psychological studies, that they can all just play soccer and they sort of all get the rules, even though they don't all individually understand them. They can't all explain every rule, but when they play as a group, they'll like figure it all out and they'll get it. I think grammar functions similarly, right? In that if I ask you about subjective, clauses, in subordinate clauses, and you just shake your head. You don't have no idea, but you know how to use them in your writing, and you know if they were incorrect. So it's more so an English professor tradition to the very first assignments you hand back to first years to be like, this is unacceptable, even though it's fine, right? You just like put the fear of God into them, even though like it was fine. And there's like, everyone makes those mistakes. You just try to scare the shit out of them. So that's all it really was. I shouldn't say that, but I mean, Yeah.
It's just,
I'm just kidding.
Just down in the dumps. You're like, the highlight of my day today is just going to rip into my students. It would be fun.
Yeah.
I got some joy out of that.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll take this opportunity to shout out our sponsor, the Wizards Tower, your source for your Magic Signal needs here in Canada. And free shipping on signals here in Canada. Great sponsor of this podcast for over 100 episodes. And I guess now would be a good time to talk about our winners of our 100 for 100 giveaway. We drew some names, got our winners. Our winners were June and Sean. I think they're both patrons.
Congratulations.
Yeah, shout out to those guys. But nice little story came out of this draw we did. So Sean, who is a teacher, doesn't have much time to play paper Magic anymore, said that, being a teacher, he has soft spots for kids. So he was wondering if we could use the credit he won to, make some kids' day. Like, just give it away to some random kid who came into the Wizards Tower. Just give him a bunch of credit, nice little gesture.
A super nice idea, but I had recently saw a Facebook post by a different local teacher.
Yeah, Mr. Gray.
So I thought we could one-up this one.
So, you guys remembered this post from Mr. Gray, who was a teacher at Academic, I'm probably butchering that, elementary school in Canada. And he had started a Magic club at his school.
Yeah, for middle school kids.
Yeah, and he just so kids can learn, make friends. And he was just looking for donations of like old cards.
He wanted just bulk. He wanted just some storage and some bulk.
Yeah.
And I said, well, okay, we can give.
Yeah, so we're like, we could use this credit that Sean wants to give away, and we'll pitch in our own money, and we'll just get them a box and some storage stuff. And
then Tower ended up pitching in.
Yeah, and then when I got there to pick up the box and the stuff, the Joey at the Tower was like, you know what, we're just going to give you the whole box. We'll donate it. I'm like, no, wow.
So we ended up, because of Sean's donation, we ended up just dumping a whole bunch of product. And it was funny because I said, well, should we ask, this teacher, should we get just the boxes and some bulk he wants? And Stella just responds to me in a message, no one wants to enjoy that. You know how hyped these kids are going to be, just open up a bunch of packs. And it's like, all right, fine, get them the packs.
So we got them the box. We got them some of those Planeswalker decks, the Spellslinger ones that are good to play against each other to learn Magic.
Yeah.
The store also donated the Explorers of Ixalan, board game Magic thing as well. Yeah, so I just brought over our whole box of Magic stuff to give to them, and Mr. Gray tweeted us, show it with a picture of the students all playing.
Yeah, pretty sweet.
Yeah, it was a nice little moment.
I mean, nice of Tower to just kick in more too.
Yeah, so I really can't shout out.
I definitely would have kept that store credit for myself.
Yeah, just
I would have kept it for myself. I told you I was broke.
really wanted to take this opportunity to just give a shout out to Sean for his generosity, and a shout out to the Tower as well for doing some good.
Yeah,
and we're really happy to be a part of it.
Yeah, turned a cool 100 episode giveaway thing into something sweet.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Yeah, it was sweet. Cool contest. We should have more giveaways.
Yeah, I definitely want to keep doing that kind of thing.
Stay tuned. I'll give away more stuff. I don't need it. Take it.
Yeah. Anyway,
won all this crazy stuff at the side events at GP Montreal. Man, I spent $15 basically because I sold some stuff back.
Mm-hmm.
And then I came home with the entire Red White Angels deck. I bought places like Aurelia, Lyra's, all this other stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I just used my side events to pay for the trip itself.
You came back plus money, didn't you?
I had to buy food and pay for a hotel and stuff, which So no, but quite close.
Yeah. I mean, getting to get away for the weekend, play a bunch of events, and then almost break even, just playing some side events. You got like 3 boxes almost, right?
I mean, I could.
And you would have gone plus money if we had known
about like the constructed fanatic option.
Yeah, we didn't know about those because Phil came out like a bandit.
Yeah.
Because he bought the constructed package and he was up to like 4 boxes or something, I think, by the end of the weekend.
More than that, but yeah.
Yeah, more than that. And he spent $135 for the standard thing. So, and stores were buying boxes for 90 to 95.
Yep.
So, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's nuts.
I kind of
can't believe I tricked myself into playing the main event.
Dude, grinding. That's why I said, man, Cam and I and Phil, shout outs to him because, man, did we set up box farming operations?
It was a hard decision, though. I had like 3 boxes worth of tickets, which is also very close to 1 gigantic card worth of tickets. I just don't think it would have fit in Sully's trunk on the way home.
You could have spent all that to get a giant. Who said like someone? They're like, oh, you should have
told us to buy one of the giant cards that we took a photo in front of for Twitter.
Yeah, God,
buy a couple cards. They go for like $600 on eBay. I was like, no way.
Oh, was it LP? He said he's like, oh, you know what you can do with a giant search for Escanta? We're like, oh, no, what? He's like, you use a checklist card for it.
You just pull out your foam one and put it on the table.
Slam it like an angry tablet. Tap this. When you have it flipped at the land, you just turn the whole thing sideways, like smashing your neighbors. Oh, yeah. But, okay, so I was going to talk about this too. Like grinding, setting up the box farming operations was cool and everything. But, man, I got to grind events now to get buys or play some trials for time in Toronto to at least have a buy because as fun as it was to get away from the weekend and play Magic, like I was talking about this with Brierley, like Mike was playing in the main and he went home early, but I was saying to him afterwards, it just didn't feel the same. Like I just didn't care.
Yeah.
And Benson was on here, if you remember, he's a guest on the show for listeners who played in his like RPTQ. We brought him on the show, interviewed him. And he was like, well, you're playing for, if you win your event, your side event, it's like $120 a box. And I'm like, yeah.
It's not the same though.
And I'm sitting here talking about how, I've been poor for, a year.
Yeah.
I should care.
Yeah.
I mean, I have kind of a job now. I should care about that, but I just couldn't.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't the sort of competitive level that I want to be playing at. And it was really like a weird wake up call that like I don't really enjoy playing the events that don't mean anything to me.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm really looking forward to Toronto now. If Atlanta wasn't so far, Goldfarb was trying to convince me because he's
to go to Atlanta,
cute for the PT, and
he
was like, "Come on, man, come to a GP Atlanta." I'm like, "No," but he's like, "You gonna come back and start playing?" I was like, "Yeah, fine," because side events is fun, but I miss that. I don't know. It's hard to explain.
I haven't thought it through, but like maybe like per round, side events and main events have about as much like expected prize on the line. But at least when I was playing side events, they didn't feel as impactful because like if that one goes poorly, you just sign up for the next one and your record's clean. Like you get to try again. And if you threw out that one, then it still seems like you did well. Whereas in the main
it
event,
does balance out really.
Yeah, but in the main event, every round matters and you have to play every round well. There's no just like, oh, I'll just play the next main event.
Yeah, but that's the fun of playing like higher level.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's
right?
that's what feels like it matters. Each round matters because you only
they
all stack on each other.
You only have 2 losses to give.
Yeah.
Like that's it.
It felt kind of like even though I lost in round 1, like the whole day kind of just felt like I was fighting back, and I had a great time. Like even though I lost my last 2 rounds and didn't make day 2, I still had a really fun day 1 just playing like good Magic. It was a good time. Like I can't.
Right, that's what I mean. I think there's something. Part of it also, if listeners have been paying attention for the past 2 years, was I also was not just because I was poor, because before that I also was sort of voting with my wallet because I was mad about the cost, and I'm still mad about it. So that's a huge problem for me. It's like when a sealed GP costs $100, like I just that's I get frustrated about that. But at the same time, it's like I really miss playing and sort of. I wish SCGs were closer.
Yeah.
So I could just support that circuit, Like if I lived in that region, I would definitely just support circuit.
Which format's Toronto?
Modern.
Yikes.
I'm going to play.
When is it?
February.
That's enough in the future. I can go to that. That'll be fun. Let's do it. DWC does Toronto.
I'm not going.
Come on.
It's modern.
Cam hates modern.
Might go play side.
We all hate modern. I mean, you're coming. Whether you play the main event or not is the question.
Am I?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What else are you going to do?
I don't know. It's February.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
It's cold out. Got to stay inside, cast spells.
Is it reading week? Maybe I got stuff to do.
I mean, if it's reading week, you don't have anything to do.
Yeah, if it's on reading week, then I wouldn't.
I don't remember.
You'll come. It'll be fun. It'll be a good time.
Ooh. But Magic and reading week doesn't really mix because I don't want to read my cards.
Yeah, exactly. That sucks. Well, this time too, you could, if the side event payout's the same, you could just go for the constructed fanatic and just go to town on people in standard.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
and it'll be a new format too.
Tell me that doesn't sound great.
Will it be?
Yeah, right. February. Yeah, the new set will be out. Comes out like end of January usually.
Oh, okay.
Sounds
I guess
like
it
a
is
great time.
only October at the moment.
Yeah, we're fresh. I mean, the only events like the SCG team event from this weekend, right? Which we don't really have
Yeah.
a ton of information on.
When's the next
Mhm.
real
Because
big
it's a team event.
publicized standard tournament?
I'm not sure. Probably this weekend. There's got to be something
There's-
this weekend. But
I think
There was
GP
also-
Denver is this weekend.
yeah, it's a team event because I know Cedric and Patrick are teamed up, which is they keep joking about it on Twitter. It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
But also there was the Standard Classic at SCG, which was won by Red White Angels. Pretty good list. There's some tokens lists in the team event for the SCG that were pretty mixed and varied. I really don't like, as I said, cutting the Legion's landings. There was like 2 copies of District Guide in some of the lists, which I think is, I just don't get it. I don't think that's, you know, like if you're going to tell me that Song is a nonsense do nothing, then you're playing District Guide. I don't understand your logic, you know?
I don't know, man.
Oh yeah, and also my bad. We didn't go to Montreal Grand Prix.
No,
What?
this one was a Grand Prix.
No, it was a Magic Fest. Come on,
They changed the
we
name.
played side events.
They changed the name that quickly?
Well, no, I mean, we played side events. We were enjoying the
No,
fest
but
of
when,
Magic.
no, but when is the technical name change? Because I want to respect Watsy's wishes.
I'm not sure.
I mean, I had a great time at Magic Fest Montreal. So,
Yeah, Magic Fest Montreal is pretty good.
Yeah. I'm just,
I forgot to bring my costume though. The other people were like, there's some cosplayers dressed up. I felt like I didn't fit in.
The guy with a Piston Fist Cyclops cosplay was actually sweet.
That one was
And
good,
I just
yeah.
don't care about cosplay at all.
Yeah, but he was a robot.
Oh, I also got some signed. I also got some signed foil bolts. So I had a good casual weekend. You know, they're a gift, but
sounds great.
It was really nice just being able to like spend an hour or two like going to get food if you wanted between events, not having to worry about like a round starting in 10 minutes.
yeah, I'm really bad for that at main events about forgetting to pack lunch. Which, if you're playing the main event, it's also a physical endurance thing. You got to pack a ton of water. You know, like you got to have bottles of water, a bag, and make sure you can carry all your stuff. Like you got to stay hydrated, man. It's important.
Oh man, not this weekend, but next weekend there's 2 standard GPs.
Yeah, in
Jersey and
Lille, yeah.
yeah. There you go. There's your next big standard event.
Oh, we should have drove to New Jersey. Stay with Conrad. But
It's probably at the same event site that it's always at for GP New York / GP New Jersey
Yeah.
every year.
yeah,
I played 2 GPs in that building.
I played one. Yeah. I played the Legacy one years ago.
Oh yeah.
That was the very first beeper trip. But yeah, anyway. That's tempting. I didn't realize it was standard at Jersey. I would actually considered going.
Yeah.
Now it's a little
Way
tough
too late.
to like 2
I can't.
week
It's not possible
for
me to
you,
get
but
it
I
off
might be
now.
able to find a ride. That is tempting. Because that's during reading week, right? Yeah. Ooh, that is tempting.
Yeah, it's right at the end of reading.
Yeah, it's the last weekend it's the
Yeah.
end of reading week because I have the week off, so it's pretty tempting to go.
Maybe the Toronto guys are going.
Oh, yeah, I might look into it.
Yeah.
Go sling it up. Play some standard. I'd play tokens.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would as well.
That deck seems. It just seems, yeah, it's as much as I think that the Red White Angels deck is nuts, and I actually think it has an okay tokens matchup. Okay to good.
Okay.
Tokens just feels like it can pop off on people and they can't really do anything. And it doesn't really have the same sort of clunky draws that a mid-range deck would have. Like it just feels like a lot of its draws are pretty smooth.
Yeah, you either mulligan them or they're fine.
Yeah,
There's no hands. Like there's like. I mean to say.
Just every hand.
No, I mean to say like There's no like do nothing turn 1, do nothing turn 2, play something turn 3, do nothing, and then play something else because you've just got like a 3-drop and removal spells.
Yeah.
Your hands are either like 2-drops and things that can make tokens and kind of curve out, or it's like 2 lands, 4 locks it on. Or like locks it on to something else in a march, and like it just is. They're either not functional.
You can either do stuff or you got a ball.
Right. I'm saying there's no mid ground. There's no like I don't know if I should keep.
No,
this
it's actually my bad because what it really is it's early and proactive.
Yeah,
that's what it is. And I could have just said that instead of saying like whatever, it does stuff, things, and then which led you to say, well, yeah, either mow or you don't.
Well said.
Stupidity is a disease. It's infectious.
I don't have my 1-drops. Put it back.
Like
once Cam gets his PhD too, we can refer back to
the stupidest, two stupidest people on
podcast.
That wasn't dumb. It just wasn't expressed well.
Yeah, that's usually what stupid.
I should take your English class.
Yeah, you can get chirped about me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So I don't know. I'm curious about a lot of the control decks.
I'd do way
With the
better in your
state of
English class
standard right now.
than you'd do in my math class.
Oh yeah, obviously. You can speak English. I can't count.
I mean, the
I can't count either.
the control decks that seem to be doing the best are the Jeskai ones.
Yeah.
I think everyone's kind of figured out that Expansion Explosion is a very good Magic card.
Is that Chromium?
I don't know if everyone's figured out. Yeah, Chromium also top 8 at the SCG event.
Nice.
The Esper control.
Yeah, Esper's been kind of doing well as well.
Yeah, and that's basically entirely, I think, because of Moment of Craving. Moment of Craving is just really well positioned right now. Stops, like Legion War Boss, Vanguard, Adontis Vanguard, which is a huge deal.
That is a big one, yeah.
Yeah, it's a huge deal. It gets all the sort of, except for Wild Growth Walker, it gets all the green guys. If you're on the play, you can tag their Llanowar Elves with it. Like, it's just, keeping your life total buffered a bit is really good. Yeah, it does a lot. I think it's really strong. But actually, this is just on the 5.0 list, but the SCG event for day 2 was actually a control deck from almost every combination.
Really?
Yeah. The ones that made it were like Esper.
I don't know. Pull the deck
Grixis, Jeskai, Band.
Yeah, but I mean the day 2.
Oh.
Like day 2, there was only 28 teams at day 2. And of the 20, like it was a majority mono red. And then because Experimental Frenzy Busto.
Mm-hmm.
Tokens, like a bunch of tokens decks. It
Yeah.
was like mono red and tokens were the highest count on the day 2 metagame. But actually the control decks were like Esper and a Bug.
Oh, there's a Sultai
Or
control.
Esper and Sultai, yeah. Bug, yeah, whatever.
What's its green cards?
Well, let's find out.
Relic Seeker,
Vraska.
expected that.
Vraska, yeah.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah.
What other ones do you need?
I was thinking they might play like a couple copies of Assassin's Trophy.
Yeah, I mean, I think there are lists that are doing that, but yeah, no, it's actually like on the 5.0 list, it looks like it's Jeskai, but in paper events, it's not.
Hmm.
It's actually quite varied. There's Grixis lists. I saw there was a girl playing a side event at GP Montreal, and I'd seen her throughout the weekend just constantly winning at the top of the table, and I asked her, and she was playing Grixis Control, and I saw some other lists that were doing really well. Like Ben's been playing Grixis Control online, and he said he's been doing really well.
I mean, Jessup finished second in the Classic with
Grixis Control with like 3 Dream Eaters
Yeah.
and 4 Bolus. This girl I saw was playing the other way around. She was playing 4 Dream Eater, 3 Bolus,
Okay.
which is fine. And yeah, similar to this.
Man, look at all these thought erasures in main decks in 2018. The card Cam said was unplayable.
Still think it's probably not great.
Well, let me tell you,
I think as the format develops, that card doesn't see much play.
I just wanted to point out that I was right and he was wrong. Moving on.
Yeah, I mean, people can put tons of bad cards in their deck.
Yep.
Like Fungal Infection.
Did I say it wouldn't see
But
play, or did I say it was unplayable?
You said it was unplayable.
That does not mean it would not see play.
Yeah, people play unplayable cards all the time. But if you look, Expansion, Expulsion, like people are still trying to find the right versions. I don't think it's as clear with what's actually doing well.
I mean, there's the first kind of list that everyone saw was the 9.0 list from the PTQ, which is the 4 Azor's Gateway deck. And then there's a lot of like Crackling Drake decks as well.
Yeah, I don't think those are good. Like I've seen them and they're playing like Mission Briefing and stuff, and you're just not going to convince me that those decks are good.
Well, look at this one. This is Jeskai control, 4 Teferi, 4 Crackling Drake, 0 mission briefing, but you're playing expansion. You're just like a control deck with Clarion, Justice Strike,
Yeah, I just don't think that card's good enough.
No?
No.
Not as just like a second win condition?
You're arguing that Crackling Drake is better than other options this deck has as a second win condition. Better than Dream Eaters, better than Nezahal, better than...
It's probably better than Dream Eater.
Sure. But like Nezahal is an option. Like, I don't know. It just...
Nezahal is really strong.
Yeah, but
I was like one of. I don't know. I'm just not convinced it's great. But also, one thing that is sort of important to note is if a lot of the decks, this one's playing 4, but I've seen a lot of the control decks only playing like 3 copies of Chemistry's Insight, and they actually don't have a lot to do on 4. So I don't mind having a 4-drop creature. I think that's why the Grixis deck's actually not that bad, because playing Bolas on 4 is actually good. I think it's just a curve consideration. And so I could see Crackling Drake as a curve consideration actually being quite strong.
Sure, but like play Karns. They can make tokens later and kill your opponent. Like,
yeah, I think Planeswalker is actually better right now. I think a lot of the way decks are designed right now are softer. There's not as many counterspells. But one thing I did like about the one list is playing some Syncopates and Blink of an Eyes as a way to get those problematic permanents off the board.
Yeah.
I also like that this is only playing 2 Expansion Expulsion, because if you're not playing the 4 Azur's Gateway Jeskai deck, you can't play 4 Expansion Explosion.
No.
You just can't. No. Because if you have to do it for 6 mana for 2 damage to draw 2 cards, that is just unacceptable.
I agree.
That's just not enough. But I don't mind 1 to 2 copies. I've been playing it in Grixis Control. I've been playing a lot of Grixis Control online. And yeah, just 1 to 2 copies has been really good. You top deck it sometimes when you have 10 mana and you just feel like a god. You kill their Lyra and you draw 5.
Nice. Man, I really love the red-green like Turbo Lands Wayward Swordtooth Experimental Frenzy deck. I've seen a lot of it online. It looks really awesome.
This deck is sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, Experimental Frenzy plus Wayward Swordtooth. I do believe they refer to that as a combo.
That is a combination of cards.
Yeah. Just going to play all these lands off the top of my deck so I can keep on trucking.
Yeah.
Banefire looked pretty good. Man, Banefire is actually so good right now. Like, that's how you beat control decks with the Red White Angels deck, is you just board in 3 Banefires and all you got to do is hit them for like 10 and then just double Banefire.
Why are we wasting time with Expansion Explosion when I can just flip my Azor's Gateway and Banefire them?
Yeah.
And it doesn't get countered.
Yeah, can't stop this.
Well, how much life do you have?
But I get it, because Expansion Explosion is good in the control mirror, right? Because you copy their counterspell to counter it. Like, it functions as a sort of counterspell, as a sort of dispel-ish style card. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think 4. I think 4 plus Azur's Gateway so much. But
well, I mean, you can discard the ones that you can't use.
I mean, yeah, I know what the card does. Like, everyone always says that. I'm like, yeah, no, I know. Like, I actually read that card.
Wait, you read that one?
Yeah, I know. I know it's unusual for Magic players to read a card. At least me recently, not knowing that Lyra also gave Angels lifelink. Yeah. We know that I'm illiterate.
Yeah.
But I did read that one because I played with it a lot last season and tried to make it good, and I couldn't.
Well, maybe now's the time.
Yeah, not sold.
All right.
But Jeskai gets to play Justice Strike, so.
Yeah. Sign me up.
4 mana, kill your Feryx. All right, gotcha. That is the problem with the Grixis deck, actually. Because opponents were playing, I did play against a mono green Stompy deck. And I was like, uh-oh. And I was like, I played a Bolas because I kind of had to.
Yeah.
Because they had like, it was too good not to. They had a 3/2 Jade Light Rager. And I was like, I'm going to play this Bolas, And then I got Feryx, and I was like, right? And I was like, all right, I can kill that thing, like,
In 2 turns.
I'll kill it eventually, right? Kill it in 2 turns is fine. My life total is good. A moment of craving that Jade Light in the meantime, and then take 6 twice, and then like maybe Aldous Reborn or pay 6 at Vraska's Contemptor, right?
Yeah.
Sitting there like, tap out for this Bolas. That sucks, And then he just untaps, plays Vine Bear. I'm like, all right, fine. Like, my Bolas can't block that guy. My Bolas just gave him a free 6/6. I'm like, this Bolas sucks. So maybe I take it back. Actually, Bolas just trash. You just play Bolas who can't block a Vine Bear and gives them a 6/6. Card's unplayable. Otherwise, pretty good.
Yeah. That's a beating.
Oh, confirmed.
All right. You guys want to talk about any more of these deck lists from this deck dump here?
Yeah, I wanted to talk about the green black decks a bit, and I think.
Okay, tell me why they suck.
I don't know that they suck. I just think something has to change drastically for them to have a future.
Go on.
I think that Golgari Finebroker, at first, I was like, wow, Golgari Finebroker plus Eldest Reborn, that's pretty good. But then I don't think it's enough. Like, that's not the best. It's a sweet loop when you cast it. Yeah, it's really sweet. But it needs something else to like push it over the top to do in the meantime. When I was playing the Grixis deck, for example, I just easily ground them out. Like, I ground them into the dirt. I got a Ralzeric in play, which I didn't think would be great, but Ben was saying it seems really medium, but it overperformed. Being able to look at the top 2 cards and put a Chemister's Insight in your bin is just, like, it's huge. Like, it feels so powerful. And, like, like, you draw mid-game, you're like, oh, I'll do 12 to that thing, right? If you minus, like, it can hit pretty hard. So, yeah. And I just easily was grinding out green-black decks, no problem with control decks. And a lot of that has to do with Chemister's Insight if they discard it, if you end up discarding it to Eldest Reborn or whatever, right? Like, it somehow gets binned. And you have ways to catch back up, especially if you're put in top deck mode and you're both in top deck mode, like, and then you draw the 1 or 2 of Expansion Expulsion and then they just lose. They can't really like close. It feels like they just can't close the game fast enough. Like Golgari Finebroker, Eldest Reborn is cool, but it doesn't really kill you that fast. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not like Scarab God where it's like, yeah, shit.
Yeah.
I'm just so dead. Like they're gonna kill me in 2 turns.
Yeah, your opponent untaps and you're pretty much dead.
They just kill you in 2 turns.
Yeah.
They scry again, maybe drain you, kill you. And so
yeah, like the Finebroker decks are doing neat stuff, but it's just not that crippling end game that they had before.
Yeah. They're so fair.
Yeah.
Can you tab through some of the 5-0 decks you have open at the moment? How much graveyard hate is in these sideboards? And what does it say about, because like Golgari is popular online. It keeps showing up in like quite a bit in these 5-0 lists. What does it say about people's like respect for that deck if despite that, there's just no graveyard hate? I'm not saying any. They don't need it to beat this graveyard strategy. Like,
right, there's none. We thought we'd need more, and we even said
no one has any.
And yeah, and the thing is, you can't beat it if they play it. You can't win.
Right.
When I played Gruesome Menagerie, a guy boarded in Deathgorge Scavengers against me, and I just got slaughtered. Like, my deck just did nothing. I got crumpled.
Right. So like, when your opponent chooses not to interact with your main resource, you can still lose.
Yeah, and if they do interact with your resource, you can never win.
Right.
So, right, that's
not a good look.
Right, that's my concern about the green black decks. Is like, I think as currently constructed, I'm not convinced. I think there is eventually a way, and I just think they need to find a new way. Like, I don't know what that looks like yet, and I think it's probably bug. I think it's probably 3 colors. I think they start playing other answers. They're not as linear as just Wild Growth Walker, Branch Walker, Jade Light Ranger. The sort of holy trinity of green explore package, right? I think it becomes a little more adapted than just this linear strategy of playing guys and making medium size to making some 3-mana 3/2s. Like, I don't know. I just don't think it's good enough. Like, I think they need a better way than, like, Eldest Reborn is insane. But it's insane when you also have them under pressure and they just have to tap out to play one thing and you get to keep the tempo of it up. Like, Eldest Reborn creates a lot of tempo over time. But if you're just sort of like slowly grinding, I don't know that it's good enough, actually. So, yeah, I think that's a really interesting point. The fact that that's a really insightful thing to look at in these lists, that no one's really interacting with graveyards. We thought they would be. Like, week 1, a week ago, we had told people, probably bring, some Deathgorge Scavengers and stuff. I still think Deathgorge Scavengers is an excellent sideboard card. It's incredible.
Yeah.
You definitely, like, if you can play it in your sideboard as a green deck, you should have it. Getting Chemister's Insight, which is starting to appear everywhere, right? There's a lot of good it can do. Because it's a flexible sideboard card. It's good against aggro, good against control, good against the green-black decks.
There's this Sultai mid-range deck just playing 4 in the main.
Yeah.
In the 5-0 lists.
Yeah, I mean, I think these lists are good. Yeah. Like, this is where I think this list looks way better to me than the green-black list. You know, and it's just a list with, you know, some Ravenous Chupacabras, some Doom Whispers, set of Merfolk Branchwalkers, but not Jade Lights and not the rest of the Explorer package. Bunch of removal, you know.
Braska.
Notion Range, just a mid-range list.
Yeah.
Just trying to get work done.
Yep.
I can get on board with this because this plays in a sort of, it pivots better, you know. It has more options. It's, you know, generic answers, but they're powerful. It has good sideboard options.
I love Treasure Map.
Big fan of Treasure Map. I think it's an awesome card right now.
This Grixis Dragons deck by Peanut Brittle. Holy, look at this sideboard.
Gotta love that name.
Look at the sideboard. 4 Departed Deckhand, 4 Warkite Marauder, 4 Stormfleet Sprinter.
Dude, this was the main deck I built.
Yeah, dude, he's boarding into Grixis Pirates.
Let's go.
Dude, and Hostage Taker.
Yeah.
He actually, his entire sideboard just boards into Grixis Pirates.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Is Deckhand a pirate spirit?
It's
yes.
Nice.
Spirit Pirate.
Ooh, even better.
That's amazing. And then a Fiery Cannonade. It's like 14 pirates and a Fiery Cannonade. Get you. That is a combo.
What is Stormfleet Sprinter? It can't be blocked? Just a 2/2 with haste?
Yeah, 2/2 haste can't be blocked.
That's nuts.
For 3 mana.
It's basically a lava axe. I didn't even know that was a card. I remember that Stormfleet Sprinter was a card. And I was trying to play Beckett Brass. That thing always hits them.
Trying to play Beckett.
It hits them for 3.
Yeah. I mean,
man, that's
just... I think this deck's probably actually pretty strong. Like, I think Grixis Dragons is actually a reasonable strategy. I think it's just hard to build correctly, and I don't know what it looks like yet. But
so Sarkhan is obviously busted.
Sarkhan's insane.
And I haven't seen a list yet that makes me like, that hasn't really, I felt like is there yet.
Yeah.
There's some really interesting ideas, but
the Control-y version one I posted with Ritual Suits is that deck was good. Yeah, with Dragon's Horde was actually quite strong. But maybe it just doesn't need Dragon's Horde. Niv Mizzet is really good.
Yeah.
The fact that it is always going to land, and if they want to kill it, you get to draw a card, basically, unless it gets Eldritch Reborn, but because it's whenever they cast an instant or sorcery spell, right? Or is it non-creature spell? Can you hover over that quick? I don't want to get this wrong.
Instant or sorcery.
Yeah, it's instant or sorcery. Yeah. So yeah, I can get Eldritch Reborn, which is a beating, but I mean, you probably have a Sarkhan in play or something, right? Or set up.
Well, how else you cast this Niv?
Literally can't. But it's pretty good. Yeah, this deck is cool. I think has a lot going on. I think the card choices in here are still medium, like you said. I'm not convinced, but no, I think there are some interesting Grixis Dragons lists. I think again, like I just don't see how like the green black decks beat this deck when they're playing like turn 1 Stitcher Supplier.
Yeah.
I think you just lose in standard if you play that card on turn 1.
I'm totally on board with Stitcher Supplier not being a standard playable Magic card.
Never has been. I'm not convinced it ever has been.
No. You're just like, if you've played these decks at all, you just know that it's not a card you need. Your Explore guys and just playing a normal game plan are good enough to get you dudes in your yard.
Yeah.
Your dudes are going to die. You're going to explore stuff into your yard. It just happens. You don't need to play an unplayable 1/1, dude.
Just let it happen, man.
Yeah. I don't know. But yeah, this deck is sweet.
Yeah, there's some pretty cool lists. I don't know like what I would play and be excited about.
You guys,
so my problem with the Jeskai control lists as currently constructed is it feels like if a Planeswalker sticks, you're in such big trouble. That's what it felt like playing it. If somebody sticks a Walker, you're like, oh no. Like, I don't know how I'm getting this off the board. Whereas the Grixis list, you're like, Vraska's Contempt. Like, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, tap out for this bolus. If they like play a Walker, I'll just Vraska's Contempt that and carry on with my life, right?
Yeah.
So it's not so bad. So I think that's the appeal of Grixis is just Walkers and how prominent they are. But
yeah, I could see that.
You have to like binding them, but
what do you think of this Jeskai mid-range deck?
So I actually think it's sweet.
By Mout.
I think it's actually sweet, but it should be playing Aurelia.
Yeah, so it's Dismissive Pyromancer, Runaway Steamkin, Exclusion Mage, Goblin Chain Whirler, Legion Warboss.
And then
with Karn and Teferi.
This looks somewhat familiar.
Yeah, it looks familiar, similar to what we had played around with. We had played around actually with Dismissive Pyromancers because we thought that they were a strong 2-drop that let you do a lot. They were good against the green decks like Steel Leaf Champion. They were strong.
It does kill that card.
Yeah, so it was strong there. The fact that it could pitch things we didn't need. I don't know how I feel about Steamkin in this deck, but it could be good.
Playing a lot of red cards.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically all red cards.
I mean, Steamkin just sitting around, powering up your expansion explosion.
Yeah, that's reasonable. He's just going to work.
Yeah. Just putting it on a day's work.
Not sold on Ionize over, I guess.
Every time.
Yeah.
Dude, it's red. It's red.
Yeah, that is relevant.
Powers up your Steamkins, right?
Yeah.
But every time, oh man, it's so funny. Like, I've played against so many decks trying to Ionize and what's the really bad card? The Punisher card?
Risk Factor?
Yeah, I've played against so many decks trying to Ionize Risk Factor, and it's just comical. Like, yeah, I don't know, take 4. And then they just lose, and the deck does nothing. Like, I don't know why. Man, they were buying, I opened a couple Risk Factors in packs and just immediately sold them to stores for like $4 or $5 a pop. I was like, how are these selling for so much? I hope I'm not wrong, but there's no way I am. People keep trying them, and I'll just, if I'm playing the like Grixis deck, I've been playing with like 1 or 2 main board negates. I'm always like, all right, like when you pitch your last card, eventually I'll just negate it if I have to. You can never win because I'm playing negate or counter. Like if you have counter magic versus that style of card, they can't win. Like counter burn decks are just not real decks.
I don't know, man. I haven't played against any.
But I get this in Jeskai, sort of Jeskai mid-range. Ionize is probably just easier on the mana. Yeah, I get that. Like, and with Steamkin, I think you definitely want to play that instead. So it's just a matter of, it's a cancel with upside.
Ooh, 4 Electromancers main.
Man, look at all these. Is it?
Yeah, I played against a lot of these decks, and they all just seem so bad.
Look at this: Enigma Drake, Crackling Drake, Rekindling Phoenix, Niv.
Okay, so I did lose to a deck. I did lose to an Izzet deck because I couldn't
kill
kill
divination.
I know I didn't play against that many divinations, but I couldn't kill the last Enigma Drake, and it was like a 12-4, and I just got smashed.
Question: why would you ever play divination when you can cast Secrets of the Golden City?
Yeah, in this deck,
I don't know.
You could draw 3, maybe.
Well, because you could have 2 Electromancers and cast it for 1 blue. That's what.
Okay.
I think Electromancer is really bad, but
that extra card.
I know, right?
It's better than having 2 goblins.
Yeah, I'm sure.
This deck doesn't even have expansion explosion. We can't even fork our divination.
Yeah, geez, what a beating. Rekindling Phoenix definitely probably pretty good here. I mean, is that card bad?
No.
Like, can it? You know what I'm saying? Like, can we? Even if we put it in just Grixis like control, could it be bad?
I mean, if it's not good, you just mulligan it.
Yeah, I mean, either keep or you will.
Easy as that.
Anything we can do to help you and ourselves get better at Magic, keep or you will.
Coming at you with the
we didn't get time to get to our topic, I feel like, but we can get it for next week.
Yeah, that's fine.
I don't even remember what we were
Man,
supposed
have you
to talk
thought
about.
of the nuts combos in this deck? Like your Phoenix dies, they exile it out of your graveyard, you pitch another one with Ral Zarek, you bring that one back.
That is a combo.
Yeah.
A combination of cards, yeah.
Well, let's talk about it next week. We derailed a lot.
Yeah, I think it was a productive derail, though.
Yeah.
Sometimes things can go off the tracks, and it can be a healthy experience, Maybe there's someone tied down on the tracks, You had to dodge the train.
This is just the trolley dilemma.
Yeah, exactly.
What? The what?
You don't know the trolley problem?
No?
It's like a philosophy / game theory, I don't know, decision theory sort of thing. Like if a train is uncontrolled going down tracks and there's a branch up ahead, and if you don't do anything, it's going to continue down the path with one person tied to the tracks, and it'll kill them. No, what is it? If you don't do anything, it'll hit 3 people.
Okay.
Or you can divert the train, and it'll hit 1 person. But now you've done something, so you're killing that person, whereas you had no fault otherwise. So, like, what do you do?
Yeah, it's like an ethical conundrum.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Why do you get to choose, or like
you just
how do you value?
tuck and roll out of one of the train cars, so you don't have to fill out a witness statement.
But yeah,
get bogged down in the bureaucratic mess of the law. That's the cynical way out.
Dr. Ben, that's with the knowledge.
Just trying to give you some loopholes. Let me get my glasses of lawyering on. How do I get out of this?
All right. Thank you all for joining the club this week. Make sure, as always, you check out wizardtower.com for all your Magic single needs.
Wow, we're not going to talk about how I got wrathed 7 times in 10 turns.
Do you want to talk about it? Do you want to relive that memory?
I know.
Well, you mentioned it, so now you have to.
Yeah.
No, it was funny that I just turned up to you and was like, I can't beat the 7. Like, scooped. So, like, we don't have a blow up, but
You were just going to tell a story how you got wrath 7 times.
in 10 turns.
In 10 turns?
Yeah, but I got Clarioned
Yeah.
3 or 4 times. Then I got Cleansing Novad twice.
Yep.
And then my opponent played a Mission Briefing and brought back a Clarion. And I was like, okay, sure. I don't know that card's playable, but you got me.
Yeah.
And then I played out a bunch more guys. My hand was nuts. I was playing Menagerie and I kept resolving it. And I had a couple and like curved out. And it was like across 10 turns. And I got from 3 onwards, I got Wrathed. And then the last one, he like played another Mission Briefing and just cast Cleansing Nova again. And I just like looked up at Stelly and I was like, oh, can't beat the 7. Like scooped up my cards. I was like, you got to be kidding me. And like afterwards, he's like, yeah, deck has 8 Wraths and like 4. And I was like, oh my God. Like I was actually mad. I was just like, God, how am I ever winning? And then I realized like that, actually a reasonable strategy against green black. Like there's no play to green black.
Yeah.
He's just farming green black decks, which were everywhere in the side events. I'm like, guy's actually a genius. Like, you know what I mean? Because like, how do they ever beat that?
You can't.
No, he smashed me.
Yeah,
he absolutely smashed me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if he was playing 4 Mission Brief, but yeah, he's like, I got like 8 Wraths in the deck. Like, you can't do anything. Just play it to Teferi and protect it. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
Because the green black deck, you're just sort of linear and playing Wild Growth Walkers. So, but it was a lot of Wraths, man. Like, that's not. And my hand was nuts.
Yeah.
And that's just
I watched. Your hand was very good. And he would wrath you, and then you just instantly refuel, and then he would just wrath you again.
I was watching that game, and after the 3rd Wrath, and I watched you recast an Azoni and make like 13 more bugs. Like you rebuilt the 4th time after the 3rd Wrath. I went to get coffee because I assumed you would.
Oh, yeah. You went back-to-back Azonis.
Yeah.
Over 10 guys.
And then
you
got
lost.
another Azoni back
Yeah.
with a Memorial to Folly, which then got wrathed again.
Yeah.
It was wild.
Yeah.
I'd never been wrathed. God was truly furious with me. All my degeneracy and sin came back. So now I feel like I'm karmically even with God,
Yeah.
So now
Makes sense.
this showed us thanks to my opponent
Yeah.
for putting me even with the Lord. Because man, did I suffer his wrath.
All right. I already did the start. If you want to get in contact with us, you can find us on Facebook at the Disorganized Wizard Club Podcast or on Twitter at DWC Podcast 1. Or if you want to support the podcast, you can find us on patreon.com/DWC Podcast. We've got a lot of cool tiers. We're really close to our first stretch goal. Get join the Discord if you become a patron. Discord's been popping off. It's a real cool place. Talk about decks, tournament stories, just about anything to help you get better at Magic.
That's great.
Yeah.
This is going to be posted on a Friday, so have a great weekend.
Yeah. I'm going to finish recording this, and it should be up by 11.
We said it was a busy week on the Discord.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still busy. I got to go back home and keep marking undergrad
Yeah,
papers.
same.
Yikes.
Yeah, dude. It's
okay.
to Friday night.
I've got an energy drink and some jelly beans.
I'm
We
gonna
should get some food, too.
go play Modern tomorrow at the Wizards Tower in their open qualifier.
Oh, nice.
I'm gonna remind everyone that Karn and the boys are still out.
Oh, you thought
stepping
Assassin's
over to
Trophy was going to stop us?
No.
Who's
Yeah.
next?
Yeah, it's gonna be good. We're gonna have fun.
You're going to come back. Tron's dead. Lost on. Where do you go?
Just lost every round.
Where do you go in Assassin's Trophy? That's all everyone was
I
playing.
figured it out. I was talking to Stelly and I realized this. People are using Unmoored Eagle wrong. They're thinking, it's 4 of something. You can name Tower. Hers is Tower.
Yeah.
But Stelly was saying most lists only play 4 forests. So you name Forest, and then your Assassin's Trophies are nuts.
All right. You win.
I'm adding a 5th forest to my deck.
Metagaming for Unmoored Eagle.
All right. We'll catch you all next week.
Later.